Hello students, welcome to KENE'S Educare, a group of KENE solutions. This is part 8 of lesson number 7, Diversity in Living Organisms. So as you all remember in part 7, we discussed on two different characteristics of two different phylums which are included under kingdom Animalia, right? Today I will be teaching you all the characteristics of rest all the six phylums that we are left with, so that we can discuss in the next part. We can discuss with all the six parts of class what phylum vertebrata, because phylum vertebrata has further six different parts which classes which needs to be discussed, right? And then we have nomenclature, summary, and then exercise discussion. So mostly more two parts for the lesson, and then we will be ending up with the lesson. But as I'm repeatedly telling you all in each and every part, that please keep on revising, because there are so many phylums divisions that you it's very easier to get confused with the characteristics of all organisms. Okay, so make sure that whatever you have studied till now, till part 8, you're very much clear with it. If I ask you to write the characteristics of Monera, you should be able to, because that is what revision you're doing, right? And when it comes to activity, I've already told you how you have to revise for activities, right? You just have to read what exactly is given in the activity. If there are any question mark, you have to answer them, and you need to state a proper observation, explanation, and conclusion to that activity. That is mandatory. Okay, so that suppose you get some question in exam and you're not aware of the theory part, or you're not remembering it, or you have not understood that concept, or and it can be any reason, right? So you know the activity, and somehow you can explain the activity in that answer part, which is going to help you in gaining more marks. So don't think that activities are not that important. They play a very important role as well, because once you practice, or once you know the observation, explanation, and conclusion for the activity, you know what exactly is the activity concluding and it's trying to state. So that becomes easier and clear to you all. Okay, so I want each one of you to please revise whatever notes you have taken in your book till part 7, because that is very important and you should be knowing it as well. So please start it, everyone. I hope everyone has started revising it. You have to revise each and everything that you have studied so far. I'll be showing you the screen, and like that is how also like it will help you in remembering everything. Okay. So we have started this lesson by discussing on classification and evolution, which is very important. And when it comes to evolution, you need to know about Charles Darwin. It plays a very important role. Okay. After this, we discussed on this activity 7.1. So I just want each one of you to please go through it quickly. After this, we discussed on biodiversity in detail. So I want each one of you to please go through this slide as well. Here we have information on region of megadiversity as well, and the diversity with respect to plants and animals have been shown as well, right? After this, we discussed on the hierarchy. So I want you all to please go through it quickly. After this hierarchy of classification, we discussed on the major subgroups that we have. So I want each one of you to please go through it. After this, we discussed on the characteristics of Monera. So I want each one of you to please go through this as well. Then we discussed on the characteristics of fungi. So I want you all to please go through it quickly. After this, we discussed on the symbiotic relationship, right? So I want you all to please go through it as well. After the symbiotic relationship of kingdom fungi, we discussed on the characteristics of plantae. So I want you all to please go through it quickly. After this, after discussing about the characteristics of plantae, we discussed on animalia, right? Sorry. So after discussing the characteristics of kingdom Animalia, we discussed on this five kingdom classification where we saw how the organisms are further classified as prokaryotes and eukaryotes, and how the further you can say classification is done on the basis of unicellular and multicellular organisms, right? So I want you all to quickly go through this. After this we discussed on like plantae in detail, because after this we discussed on the three divisions that come under kingdom plantae, right? That is Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. So these are the characteristics under division Thallophyta that we have discussed. I want you all to please go through it. After like studying in detail about Thallophyta, we discussed on Bryophyta, and remember this, that Bryophyta, like all the plants included under this, they are called amphibians of the plant kingdom. Okay. Then we discussed about Pteridophyta, and we know Pteridophyta is further divided as gymnosperms and angiosperms, right? So here we have the characteristics of the gymnosperms which have been given. So I want each one of you to please go through it quickly. Then we have some characteristics of angiosperms as well. After this we discussed on like the classification of plant. So I want each one of you to please go through it quickly. Then we discussed on this activity 7.2 as well, and I hope everyone is going through it. Then we discussed on Animalia in detail. So here we have the characteristics of Animalia, and after this we have like phylums to discuss. So we started discussing with the first phylum that we have. So sorry. Mm, that is Porifera, right? So I want each one of you to please go through it quickly. I hope everyone is going through the characteristics. After this, we discussed on like Coelenterata, that is like Cnidaria. So I want you all to please go through it quickly. Then after that, we discussed on Platyhelminthes. So I want each one of you to please go through it quickly. After this, we discussed on like nematoda in detail. So I want each one of you to please go through it quickly. Now the characteristics are very easy. It's just that you need to remember the example, that is the name of the organism, and what kind of characteristic they have. Like what do you mean by bilateral symmetry? What is mean by triploplastic, diploplastic? What do you mean by xylem, pseudoxylem and all? You should be knowing those meanings, and you should be knowing whether they have xylem, they have pseudoxylem, whether they are triploplastic, they are bilateral symmetry, they have bilateral symmetry, everything like that way. Okay. After this, we discussed on Annelida as well, right? So we need to start with arthropoda or annelida. We need to start with annelida, right? So see, annelid animals, they are also bilaterally symmetrical and triploplastic, but in addition, they have a through body cavity. Okay, so they are bilateral symmetry. It means if we cut them into two equal halves, you're going to get, like, if you cut them from the center, you're going to get two equal halves of it, right? And they are triploplastic, means they are made up of three layers, that is ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. And in addition, they have through body cavity, so inside them they have a coelom, which is known as through body cavity. So this allows through organ to be packed in the body structure, and there is extensive organ differentiation. If you can see, they have tentacles. Like if I talk about nares, they have tentacles, they have palp, then parapodia, right? And then when it comes to earthworm, they have genital papillae, NS, and so you can say that there is extensive organ differentiation that can be seen under the organism Annelida. And this differentiation, it occurs in a segmental fashion. So if you can see, all the three examples that has been given, nares, earthworm and lich, all of them have segmented body, right? So they have segments which are lined up one after the other from head to tail. And these animals are found in variety of habitats, like you can find them in fresh water, marine water and on land as well. And earthworm and leeches, they are familiar examples of organisms included under annelids. So I want each one of you to please go through it quickly. I hope everyone is taking a note of the characteristics of, you can say, phylum Annelida, and you can write the examples as well. Okay. Then after Annelida, the next phylum that we have is Arthropoda. Okay, now arthropods are like includes, you can say, all the flies and all. So this is going to be the largest group of animal. So phylum Arthropoda is the largest group of animal that we have. This can also been asked as objective. Okay, and these animals, they are bilaterally symmetrical and segmented. How are they? They are bilaterally symmetrical and they are even segmented as well. There is an open circulatory system, and so the blood does not flow in well defined blood vessels. So because they have this open circulatory system, the blood is not going to flow in a well defined blood vessel as it flows in our body. Okay, and the coelomic cavity is blood filled again. Now we studied like there's a through body cavity, false body cavity, and when it comes to the coelomic cavity in arthropods, they are blood filled and they have jointed legs. So the word over here, arthropod, it means jointed legs, and some familiar examples are prawns, butterflies, houseflies, spiders, scorpions and crabs. These are some of the, you can say, insects which are included under phylum Arthropoda. Okay. I hope every one of you are taking a note of it. So you can see the examples that are given under Arthropoda. We have prawn, then spider, scorpion, butterfly, housefly, cockroach, centipede. These are all examples of it. So make sure you know them. After this phylum Arthropoda, we have the next phylum to discuss, that is Mollusca. So you can see like octopus, pilla, unio, chitin, these are the animals which are included under phylum Mollusca, and their body is also bilaterally symmetrical. It means like if you cut the organism into two different parts from the center, you're going to get two equal halves of it. So their body is bilaterally symmetrical. The coelomic cavity is reduced. Whatever cavity is present inside the body of the organism, that is reduced, and there is little segmentation. Like as in case of earthworm, you saw they were very segmented. Like if I show you about arthropods and about annelids, annelids are like they are highly segmented, but when it comes to mollusca, they have little segmentation which can be seen on their body. Then they have an open circulatory system and a kidney-like organ for excretion. What do they have? Open circulatory system, and along with that, they have a kidney-like organ which is going to help them for excretion. Then there is a foot that is used for moving around. Like if they have to move from one place to another, they have their foot which has been used to move around. And the examples of the animal included under phylum Mollusca include snails and mussels. Okay, so I hope every one of you are going through it. I hope everyone is taking a note of it. After this, we have echinodermata and protochordata to discuss. See, in Greek, echinos means hedgehog, which we also know it as spiny mammals, and derma means skin. Okay, so thus this spiny skinned organism, so all the organisms included under echinodermata, they are known as spiny skinned animals or spiny skinned organism. So these are exclusively free living marine animal. What are they? They are free living marine animals. They are triploplastic and have coelomic cavity. Triploplastic means they are made up of three germ cells: endoderm, mesoderm, and ectoderm. So they are triploplastic in nature and they have a coelomic cavity which is present inside. Then they also have a peculiar water driven tube system that they use for moving around, where they have a calcium carbonate structure which they are going to use as a skeleton. Okay, then examples are sea stars and sea urchins. You should be knowing at least two examples of each. Okay, next phylum that we have is Protochordata. So these animals, they are also bilaterally symmetrical, triploplastic, and have a coelom. And along with this, they show a new feature of body design which they know it as notochords. So at least at some stages during their life, they are going to have this notochord present in them. Now, what is notochord? Notochord is a long rod-like support structure that runs along the back of the animal, separating the nervous tissue from the gut. What is a notochord? It's a long rod-like support structure that you can see in the center, right? And it is going to run along the back of the animal, which is like playing a role in separating the nervous tissue from the gut. Okay, and it also provides a place for muscles to attach for the ease of movement. Now, there's nothing over here to explain in detail, right? I hope like while you are reading it, you are understanding what exactly has been given, right? So, protochordates may not have a proper notochord present at all stages in their lives or for the entire length of the animal. Okay, they only have it at some, you can say, some stages during the life, not throughout the stage. Okay, then protochordates are marine animals, and the examples of protochordates include Belanoglossus, Herdmania, and Amphixis. These are some of the examples of protochords. So I want each one of you to please write the characteristics in your book. I hope everyone is going through it. Then we have only vertebrata to discuss. We'll discuss that as well. After this, the last phylum that we have to discuss is phylum Vertebrata. So we are even included under this. Okay, so the animals have through vertebral column an internal skeleton, allowing a completely different distribution of muscle attachment points to be used for movement. Now, all the organisms included under vertebrata, they will have a true vertebral column, and that is the reason they have been termed as vertebrata. Okay, and they have different distribution of muscle attachment that they are going to use it for their movement. Then vertebrates are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, coelomic, and segmented with a complex differentiation of body tissue and organ. Okay, now you know the meaning of each and every term, so you just need to know what kind of body structure they possess or they have. Okay, so all chordates, they possess the following feature. They have a notochord, they have a dorsal nerve cord, they are triploplastic, they have paired gill pouches, and they are coelomate. So these are the 5 characteristics which are common in all the vertebrates. And remember one thing, that vertebrates are like further divided into 6 groups. They are grouped into 6 classes, which I'm going to start that in the next part, not today, because we have already done enough for today. We studied, I guess, 6 different phylums with their characteristics and their examples. So we will study the 6 classes of phylum Vertebrata in the next class. Okay, I'm just going to show you which are the 6 classes that we are going to study. The first one is Cyclostomata. So we will be discussing about the characteristics of Cyclostomata in detail. Okay, then after that, after studying Cyclostomata in detail, we have Pisces to discuss. Okay, then the third class that we have is Amphibia. Now amphibians are the one who can live on land as well as like in water, so we will be discussing on amphibia. Then we have Reptilia. Okay, we'll discuss about Reptilia. Then we have the fifth class as aves, and lastly we have Mammalia, under which like we humans have been included, and they have been called as Mammalia because of the presence of mammary gland for the production of milk. Okay, So this is how we will be discussing on all the 6 classes, and after that we'll discuss on Carolus Linnaeus, okay, in detail, like who exactly he was and what was his contribution in coming up with the classification of living organism. Then after that we will be discussing on this chart, that is of classification of animal, which is again very important. We will be discussing them in detail, and after that we have nomenclature to discuss in detail, and this will be the last part for the lesson, which we will be discussing about nomenclature over here, why there is a need for nomenclature. And then we have 2 different activities which we will be discussing on, along with the observation, explanation and conclusion for them. Okay, so we'll discuss them, and then we have a summary to discuss for the whole lesson, like what exactly we have studied in the whole lesson, diversity in living organisms. So we'll be doing the summary discussion as well, and then we have certain questions to discuss, or like exercise questions to discuss, which I'm going to show you one by one, and I want each one of you to please go through the questions quickly. So these are the 6 questions that we will be discussing at the end of the lesson, and I hope like whatever characteristics of different phylums that we have discussed today in this part, each one of you are very much clear with it. Now whatever has been left, I will be like covering that in the next part, that is like about the 6 classes of vertebrata. We will be doing that in the next class, okay? And like we will be completing till, let's see how much we can complete, but I'll need 2 more parts, I guess. Okay, so we'll do that, and I want each one of you to revise whatever we have discussed till now in the lesson, as it's very important. Okay, so this is how we are going to end up with the lesson, and I will be continuing with the rest of the part in the next class. Thank you everyone.